Hello there, and welcome to Daniel's Infinite Playlist. And today we're going to review the new album from Polish duo Rebeka, which is called Post Dreams. For those of you who don't know who Rebeka is, Rebeka is a duo comprised of, I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing the name wrongs, Iwona Skwarek and Bartosz Szczesny, and they've become one of the most successful bands of the 2010s in Poland, and that is mainly because of their very, how do you say, both accessible but also very experimental synth pop electro music, which has garnered them a lot of praise from the Polish music press, and also made them win a lot of awards, especially with their first album, Helada, which was a very big hit in Poland. But now they've how do you say, they've continued the success from that first album and the second album, Davos, which was actually a bit more of a harsher sounding album, and they just made it even softer. Anyways, how is it to listen to this album? Well, it's a bit like this. Alright, I'm going to show you the CD unboxing now. You can actually buy their record on physical. I think they only have the CD, not the vinyl. Anyways, the design is very nice. Here's the album cover, by the way. There's Bartosz, which is the producer and mixer of the group, and Iwona. She's the, how do you say, the songwriter and the singer. Anyways, here's the inside. And then you see like the booklet, which is actually a nice, just like a collage of pictures, like dreamlike, how do you say, pics of both the band members, and also lyrics, and the usual stuff when it comes to like album booklets. Alright, how is this album musically? Well, musically, this album is quite a departure from Rebecca's, how do you say, older sound. I mean, the elements are still there. I mean, you'll still hear, like the synth flourishes or some harder beats. However, they've completely changed that into something more dreamy and something more cohesive. You can easily say that this is their most accessible album in those terms, because they use a lot of, how do you say, modern production techniques that you can actually hear on some of the pop music that is being released today. And it is a very, how do you say, consistent listen throughout. It's very, how do you say, like the songs blend into each other, which is both a strength and also kind of like a weakness, because sometimes you can't tell like the songs apart from each other, which makes them stand out a little bit less. But the production is always very impressive. They've used like a lot of live sections, like with a string quartet and all of that, and I think that's really cool. And it is a good fit for the band, and also Ivona's, how do you say, voice is as expressive as ever, even though she tones down a bit of her performance, just to mimic, like the album's own dream world. It actually fits well, and I think it's quite cool. And you can also see, as I said, you can see some strains of, like tropical pop, for example, like in the song Cave Girl, or there's like a lot of, how do you say, a lot of, it sounds a bit more of this time, but at the same time it's just very like in its own vacuum. It's kind of hard to, how do you say, to describe. So it's kind of like dreamy and acoustic, but at the same time a bit synthy. So yeah, it's just a mishmash of all of these that somehow, just like fit together. Anyways, how is this album lyrically? Well, lyrically, this album is most like the title, Post Dreams. It is about the dream world, and it is about, like these different realities that we always face with each other, like in our, how to say, in our daily lives. For example, what if I did this, then this would have happened, or what if I said this to this person or something like that. And I think that thematically it fits the album very well. And it's not only about dreams, it's about the possibility of love, of mothers, for example, like in the song Mama, and then there's the song Elesi, which is very beautiful, which is about insecurities, and also the song again Cave Girl, which is about wanting to be in your own space while others don't exactly understand why you are there in the first place. So yeah, it's an album that balances all of these, how do you say, dreamy worlds, and they say themselves that they want to, how do you say, have you in this world. So yeah, what do I give this album? Well, I give it an 8 out of 10. It is a very consistent and beautiful album. It's quite a departure from like their older sounding music, which is both to their favor and also a bit against them, because I miss a bit of the harder beats of the first and the second album. I think that they actually managed to make them so good, and also like with Ivona's very expressive voice, who sounds almost acrobatic, and all of that almost, well, is toned down to the max in this album. And I think they're going to garner a lot of fans because this is their most consistent as well. I think this is their best album in terms of being consistent throughout, because I think like their first two albums were a bit more. It had like a few good songs, but then the rest were always, like very experimental. But at the same time, I kind of miss, like the jagged edges. But it's a bit of a mishmash, and it's an album that also opens itself up to more listens. So it does get really, really good after, I don't know, like 4 or 5 listens. And I think that the songs start to distinguish them a little bit more after every listen, because I remember, like at the first time when I listened to it, I remember I only liked the song Elesi and Cave Girl, and then just the jogging version, of course. But like the other songs just didn't quite gel with me. But now I've started to discover, like some of the great ones. Like the Polish songs are great. Like the song Fale, it's really beautiful. And yeah, and also the song, I'm sorry for the pronunciation, Sachod. Anyways, it's a beautiful, beautiful album, and I think that you should give this band a listen, because well, I mean, it's not always you get to hear about Polish music, right? And yeah, uh, they're really good. I mean, they don't get all that good, critique for nothing. So yeah, they're really great, and I look forward to listening to their next album to see if they're taking this sound a bit further, or if they're going to just do something new. Anyways, that's it for me for today. As always, I'm going to put the artist links down below. Rebeka are available everywhere: Spotify, iTunes, you name it. You can also buy their physical versions as well. Yeah, so get on to listening to them, and they're a really good band. I really recommend you to begin with their older songs, because they're really like nice. But this album is also a very great compliment to it. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you so much for listening to for tuning into this review. I hope you liked it, and if you liked it, then please like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll be going back with new album reviews every Wednesday and classic album reviews every Saturdays. So yeah, If you want to enjoy this musical ride with me, then welcome aboard. Anyways, that's it for that's it for today. Enjoy music, enjoy life, people. Vi ses. Hej då!